Good evening. Good evening. Yes, I have it on. Good evening. This is Minister Keisha L. Peterson, and I welcome you once again to the Absolute Word Ministries devotionals as we continue on with the warrior we call Mom, and we are doing day 3 of our 5-day devotional. And today's title is The Trap of Comparison. The Trap of Comparison. So we are going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 through 10. King James Version reads, "But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues." All of these gifts were given by the same Spirit. The Christian Standard Version of the Bible, it reads, "A manifestation of the Spirit is given to each person for the common good. To one is given a message of wisdom through the Spirit, to another a message of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the performing of miracles, to another prophecy, to another distinguishing between spirits, to another different kinds of tongues, to another interpretation of tongues." So once again, the devotional title is The Trap of Comparison. There is nothing more vicious than the comparison that takes place at times between mothers. As mothers, we have an insatiable drive to succeed at raising our children. At times, we all wrestle the drive for our kids to dress the best, achieve the best grades, score the most points, or perform the best talents. We can become guilty of measuring our success by the output in our children's lives. We may compare parenting styles, discipline styles, methods of education of our children. We must examine the story of Elizabeth, mother of John the Baptist. Elizabeth's son didn't even carry a traditional family name to begin with. I am sure it did not help her reputation when John decided that all he wanted to wear was camel hair. Elizabeth had to overcome mother to mother comparison and just allow her son to be who God created him to be. We must view our precious little ones as an answer to a problem, not the source of one. They are an answer to prayer, fully equipped in every way to fill a specific valuable purpose in the kingdom and plan of God. Don't be afraid of that purpose, even if it is to destroy a mold. Amen. Um, you know, my type of mothering may not suffice for someone else. However, we all need to put our children in God's hands and trust and believe that He will keep them. Because see, my type of mothering may be different from your type of mothering because guess what? Our children are not the same. Our children's spirits and gifts are not the same. They may be titled the same, but they perform them in different ways. God gives each of them a different ability to perform the gifts that He has given them. To God be the glory. All of my children are grown. I have 5 grandchildren and one on the way. And they all need to learn or have their own life experiences. Okay. Just because I might see something in them, you know, God might take them in a different direction. Just because I want them to be something particular, God may have a plan, a different plan for them. Just because I'm mommy, I am not their God, and I should not be their God. So, meaning they should not look to me for everything because I cannot provide everything. Okay. God is not going to go back on his word when he gave us these gifts, our children. Um, we were supposed to dedicate them back to him so that way his hands and his that they can walk hand in hand with him. And we give our children back to God in some form of fashion. It might not just be the traditional excuse me, the traditional christening ceremony, you know but um in some ways we dedicate our children back to God. uh when we Because sometimes everyone, just because we don't say, have the pastor anoint their head, or go through the actual ceremony with the godparents and the grandparents. And I don't recall in the Bible where the godparents and the grandparents were uh, with anyone who dedicated their child back to God, who gave their child, um, back to God. So these are just things that we do in traditional ways that we've created, man designed motions that we go through. But God is not going to go back on his word that he has promised to keep each and every one of us. So if you truly keep your children in prayer, God will answer your prayers and stick to those prayers. I would love to hear your input. What type of disciplinarian are you? Do you compare your children or how you raise your children with others? I must say, I don't think, I gave my opinions on things that I do or how I raise my children, and, what I did not, what I would not accept from my children. But as far as to say, oh, girl, no, I wouldn't do that. Oh, girl, no, you shouldn't do that. You know, our children are different. My son is different from yours. My daughters are different from yours. So we cannot teach our children the same. We cannot raise our children the same. So just voice your opinion in this feed. I'd love to hear your ideas, your concerns, and how you feel. Do you compare your mothering to others? Let's talk about this. Talk to you later. Have a blessed day.